Okay, thank you very much, Chairperson. Thank you for this opportunity. I've got only one question to answer, but I think it's the most topical question. The question from Shano Merrick's of Kasi Broadcasting Corporation about this issue of food poisoning, which is very topical and has made our people very anxious. Let me start with definitions. Yeah. No. I'm just taking it. Not removing it. No. Yeah. Because we need to be on the same page. Generally, the word food poisoning that is being used here colloquially can confuse people. Medically speaking, in medicine, when we say food poisoning, we are talking about illnesses caused by bacteria or other toxins. Bacteria usually cause food poisoning when that food got spoiled. Let's say it's supposed to be in the fridge, it's not kept very well, it gets invaded by bacteria and it makes you sick. That is what food poisoning means. Whereas I know colloquially people believe somebody deliberately or maybe inadvertently put poison in food. That's not what it means. And I'm saying so because sometimes in schools, it causes war where you have got some ladies cooking food and a doctor diagnosed food poisoning and the villagers believe the ladies who are cooking that food poison the food. I experienced it as an MEC for education at some stage. It's quite unfortunate. So we would like you to help us spread this information that food poisoning is specifically illnesses caused by bacteria or other toxins. Then maybe you'll say, okay, other toxins means poison. I'm inviting you now, if you Google the word toxin, you can start with food poisoning, they will tell you what I was telling you. If you Google the word toxin, they will tell you that toxins are substances created by plants or animals that are usually poisonous to humans. And those animals is usually bacteria. So it goes back to bacterial contamination. I just thought I needed to clear that. Now, let me go to the present situation. There is a belief that the state was doing nothing. Immediately after the cases in Naledi, 5 government entities moved in. Firstly, a group of detectives from SAPS. They started moving in that area, conducting an intelligence-driven operation to see what could have happened. The Chief Directorate of Environment in the Department of Health, that is the directorate which in the past used to keep health inspectors. They also moved in to see if, some of the laws pertaining to food are being obeyed. The Department of Agriculture also moved in. So is the Johannesburg City. Johannesburg City has got a special team of environmental officials. They've got that unit dealing with environment. They also moved in. Then the National Consumer Commission also moved in to see if consumers are being protected. That happened quite sometimes, especially immediately after the Naledi incident. Now, last week, NET joins the National Joint Operation Intelligence Structure met and said this matter must be considered as a threat to national security. Then they said whatever it is, because we're not sure exactly what it is, whatever it is, the end result is that people get sick and even die. So the Department of Health must lead and be the one that takes over this operation. And the department did so. As the minister, I was then obligated to call all the stakeholders, and we called them to a meeting where we discussed these issues. I took the liberty to invite NICD, which was not one of the structures that they've moved in, because they've got expertise. NICD is a BSL4 laboratory, meaning biosafety laboratory level 4. most of the countries on our continent have got level 1 or 2, maybe 3, but we are the only ones with level 4, if I'm not mistaken, with Egypt also. I don't know any other country that is at that level. So we trust them, we call them in. In the meeting, each of the structures I've mentioned gave us the work they've done, how far it was done, what is that which they've learned, etc., etc. But we also scrutinize the symptoms of these kids, especially those who died in Naledi. What type of symptoms were there? And we came up on a conclusion that when people die, maybe because food was laced with something, as I said, it might be food poisoning, in which means it's bacteria, definitely. Or it might be a chemical, or it might be a physical agent. And people were asking me, what do you mean by a physical agent? It might be because of radiation, for instance. That's physics. But after scrutinizing the symptoms, we concluded that here we are not dealing with food poisoning as in bacteria. We are dealing with a chemical. And the question is, what chemical? Can we find it? We even have an idea of what it could be, but we thought it would be unscientific to go around and say this and that chemical, because in science, these things can dribble you. You may announce something only to find that it's something else. So we said we need to move in. So for that reason, we organized health inspectors, and we got 80 of them from the city of Joburg and the Department of Health. They were joined by other officials from these other departments I've mentioned, agriculture, even border management authority, in home affairs, and even National Consumer Commission. And we all together organized 114 officials. They went to Naledi since Monday. Since Monday last week. No? I'm getting confused. It's Friday today. Oh no, since Monday this week. They went into Naledi. We used to believe there are 80 spaza shops there, but they went through 84 spaza shops. The ones in which they got and examined. What were they doing? They were trained by NICD on how to look for this chemical, which we think is the one that is causing problems. How to go around searching for it. And they actually did so, and they finished their work yesterday. Today, they were just mopping up. But during the course of that work, or maybe let me give you statistics, the 84 spaza shops they visited, 42 of them are owned by foreign nationals. That's 49% of the spaza shops. But 43, which is 51%, are owned by South Africans. So we're not searching foreign nationals only, we're just searching whatever is a spaza shop. During that search, they did confess that there is an illegal chemical which they buy from a mall in Johannesburg. They did say so. And 27 officials visited that mall, and they confiscated 1,456 grams of that chemical. And 4 people were arrested, 1 man and 3 women. They were arrested for that activity, but 2 of them, in terms of the laws of the country, were given bail of 2,000. The others are still in custody. And the confiscated chemical is in Johannesburg Central Prison. So I keep on saying chemical, because I don't want the irresponsibility of naming something. Now, I know that we are under pressure from both of you and the media and the public, that we are doing nothing while people are dying. We are under that pressure. But some of us have done postmortems before. We are resisting the temptation. Actually, I phoned the minister yesterday with respect, because I was worried when the commissioner started naming a chemical, because it was found in somebody's stomach. In postmortems, you don't just do that. You don't just find something in a human being and rush and make a conclusion. It might be dangerous. So what are we doing? As I'm speaking here, the NICD brought together experts. And who are the experts? Chemical pathologists are there. Forensic pathologists are there. Epidemiologists are there. And some clinicians who specifically specialize in symptoms and signs of somebody who has been chemically poisoned. They are all there. They have got this work, these swabs that were taken there, which have been sent to laboratories now as I'm talking. But the files of the children who have died, they are scrutinizing all those things, and they are scrutinizing the post-mortem results to try and make out exactly what is that which you are dealing with. What we mean when we are saying they are scrutinizing them, you are linking, if you do a post-mortem in somebody and find somebody in their stomach, you don't immediately conclude it might be an incidental finding. It's possible, it has happened before. They want to link that with the signs and symptoms. The clinicians who got these kids when they came to hospital, what is that which they found? Is it in keeping with the characteristics of this chemical? What is that which people found in the environment? Is it also fitting in? So that they link things together and we come to a final conclusion. What do we know now? For the moment, we believe this thing has got nothing to do with the school feeding scheme. We don't think the school nutrition program in our schools has got anything to do with this. More so, we already have evidence that the kids who got sick is not because they ate food at school. It's because they bought food at the gate outside the school, not inside the school. So for now, I'm saying for now, because we don't know what further investigations may show. Now, when you say, Shano, when you say illegal foreigners, I've already answered that. In Naledi, 49% of the shops are owned by them. The issue of repackaging of goods to change expiry date is one of the issues that we have marked. We are going to look for it and I'll tell you why. And the issue of shop owners using some chemicals and all that, I've already told you that at least there are those who confessed about one and went to that mall in Johannesburg and it was found, but we'll give you further details after this analysis by experts, as I've said.